Picture an ancient mountain, unshakable, rooted deep in the earth's core. Winds howl, storms rage, eagles soar in frenzy. Yet it stands motionless, heavy with eternal gravity. That immovable weight births all lightness. That profound calm commands every restless force. The sage moves through chaos the same way, anchored, serene, unbreakable. Lose the gravity and the throne crumbles. This is the fierce quiet power of chapter 26 of the Tao Te Ching. Gravity and calm. Gravity is the root of levity. Of all that is light, calm is master of the rash, of impulse. The Taoist, when traveling, never stays far from the baggage cart, sees beyond the finest palace. There is no remedy for the Lord of myriad chariots, who makes light of all under heaven. Levity loses the root. Rashness forfeits the mastery. And as with every chapter that we've been reading, I will also be reading the River Master's commentary from the John Minford version of the Tao Te Ching. A ruler without gravity is not respected. So too, when a Taoist practices self-cultivation, without gravity, spirit is lost. Flowers and leaves are light. They perish from their levity. Roots are weighty. They last. Without calm, the Taoist invites peril. Dragons are calm. They transform themselves at will. Tigers are rash. They die young. The Taoist, walking all day in the Tao, never strays far from the baggage cart of gravity and calm. A light-minded and rash ruler who wallows in luxury and frivolous sensuality forfeits the respect of his ministers. So too, flippant practice of the Tao loses the root. Loses the root. The root. The root is calmness. Calmness. And gravity. Gravity. When you get lost in the emotions of the day, and you're faced with tough moments, your mom coming home after work, have to make dinner, get the kids out to whatever activities they have going on at night, and you have that sense of panic, frustration, worry. You lose sight of the calmness, the gravity of the Tao. Why? Why is it so important? Why is it so important to not lose yourself in the brashness of life? Later on in the Tao Te Ching, it talks about how the rashness limits life. I believe that's absolutely true, by the way. I think that if you let yourself get caught up in emotional, dramatic cycles day in and day out of your life, that it will, over time, limit the length of physical life that you'll have. I think it deteriorates the body faster. Distress. Dis-ease. I don't think that's a play on word. I don't think that's a coincidence that disease is basically saying unease, dis-ease, right? I 100% believe that disease is caused by this emotional, cyclical, just constant being on edge, stress, worry, anxiety, fear, all the negative emotions. And that perpetual sense of that, the pressure of modern society on life, money, stuff. It's making us physically sick over time. And if you want to heal, I think you have to start with healing the mind. Because the mind, this cyclical thoughts, the thoughts that create emotions, the emotions that feed back into the system and create this dis-ease. You have to get the thoughts under control isn't the right word. You have to disassociate your pure being awareness from the thoughts that are cycling through your mind. And trust me, I'm not immune to this idea or this problem. In fact, last night I was in bed and my mind was racing. Some things had happened during the day. I didn't feel good because I had had a little too much wine the night before, and I was tired, and there were some things that weren't necessarily going the way I wanted them to. I had a small argument with my spouse, and I went to bed early. And I was tired. I wanted to sleep. But I couldn't sleep because my mind was jumping between all these things. I didn't take care of myself well. And so I did what I know I needed to do, which is there's a practice from Indian culture called Yoga Nidra. It's a pretty simple idea where you go through all the main joints in your body. You go from your third eye into your throat chakra. You go through every joint, wrist, each tip of your finger, back up, and you focus on each point. You just pretend you're this little bit of awareness going through each point. You go down through the heart, either side of the heart, and you go through the not sacral chakra's down here, through the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and through the hip joints, knee joint, ankle joint, the five toes, and back up. And you can YouTube this. I can actually put a link in the description to the YouTube that I watch on a regular basis. And this meditation of basically cycling through the body with your awareness calms the body and the mind, and you're breathing in and out through this. And so I needed to do that, and when I did, of course, my mind cleared, and I was able to calm down and go to sleep. So this is why meditation, I think, is such a critical piece to mindfulness and to gaining self-mastery, because it allows you to disassociate from the thoughts, the awareness from the thoughts, and then you can be rest in pure awareness. And when you do that, you can still see the thoughts. The thoughts still might be there, although they may disappear altogether. A lot of times when I do that, my thoughts disappear altogether. I very rarely get like this anymore because I've conditioned myself over the years to live in a sense of awareness, this present awareness, and to not get wrapped up in the day-to-day. Now, again, I'm not completely immune. It does happen from time to time. But when you get to this sense of peace, you get to this balance, just beingness, then everything all the problems of the day, the week, the month, the year seem small in comparison. Because then you realize that they're just silly things that are happening around you that you're attributing meaning to. And it's better to be in beingness than to be wrapped up in the dramas of life. If this chapter resonates with you, please like and subscribe. And the reason we ask for that is because we want this channel to grow, as most channels do. But for our purposes here, we'd like to see more people be able to watch these videos and to experience some sense of hope or peace in their lives. And then the real hope is that as people start to become more whole internally, that they become a better beings in the world, and that ripples out in a positive way. So this is the Boundless Sovereign YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on chapter 27.